and calculated the sample mean for all of those samples, we would find that 95% of those samples would have an average height for men that would be at most 69.3 inches. Okay? And that's it. So now, that would need to be the average height of the door, right? So the average height of the door would need to be about 70 inches, 70 inches. Okay? Oh, by the way, what is the average height of the door in this case? It is, hold on, where is it? 72 inches. Hey, so they're definitely above this number, so they're good. Okay, now, assume that half of the 200 passengers are men. What mean doorway height satisfies the condition if there is a 0.95 probability that this height is greater than the mean height of 100 men? Hold on a second. What mean doorway height satisfies the condition that there is a 0.95 probability that this height is greater than the mean height of 100 men? Okay, so basically the same thing, but with the sample size of 100. Because now they're saying, hey, assume half the 200 passengers is men, what is the mean door height that would satisfy the same thing? That the 95% of the heights would be lower than, or 95% of the men, the 100 men would go in there, okay? So you do the same problem, but you're going to just change this to 100 because now we're assuming that half the 200 people are going to be men, okay? So in this case here, we're going to do the same thing, but now our sample size of men is 100. Okay, and so if we do that, what does the mean height of the door need to be so that 95% can go through the door without stooping? Well, let's do the same thing again. And we'll just change that to 100. 69.46. Okay, so not a big change. Not a big change at all. Okay? So still, if they had the door at 70 inches, it'd still be perfectly fine. Now it says for engineers designing the 757, which result is more relevant? The height from part A or part B? So which one? Which one would be more relevant? Well, the one from part B would be more relevant because as an engineer, you have to take real world situations into consideration. And in real world, we don't get airline passenger, people go in an airline that are all male or all female. It's always a mixture of men, women, and children, okay? We use men in this case because men tend to be taller than women. So if you use the population of men, then we'll also cover the population of women. But the more relevant answer in this case would be B because in real life you're dealing with not just all men, you're dealing with a mixture of men and women. So that's why. Okay, so that's it. So that's understanding the central limit theorem, how to apply the central limit theorem. It comes down to just making sure you use the one, you know that x bar is normally distributed. That's where the central limit theorem comes in. The sample size matters. And then you need to know what mean and what standard deviation to use to calculate the probability. Okay, that ends chapter 7. So next time we'll start chapter 8. Have a great day.